I don't smoke. I'm not a smoker. Apart from, you know, a couple of times when you're in school and it's like, oh my god, it's so cool to like smoke. I've never really been one for wanting to be a smoker. It's not something I've like craved for or anything like that. And maybe it's because I would say I'm just too intelligent to fall into the trap that is smoking. Just yesterday, my parents were down with me. My mum has been a heavy smoker pretty much all her life, and had pretty much no real ill effects from it whatsoever, it seems. But her breathing just now is difficult to listen to. She's wheezing every time she breathes in, and it's getting to the point where I wouldn't be surprised if she's going to have one of those like oxygen canisters beside her in the not too distant future. It sounds so. I suspect she's got the lung capacity of a squirrel. You know, it's just like, oh dear, and yet at the same time has no indication that she's wanting to quit or wanting to cut down or thinks, oh, maybe I should quit smoking and get fitter. No, she's absolutely no interest in that whatsoever, which is a bit of a bizarre attitude, I think. But it's like when I was very young, I remember my mum made me smoke a cigarette. Oh yeah, you think, oh my god, bad parent, but that was my mum's idea. That if she made me at a very young age have a distaste for cigarettes, for smoking, then maybe that would stay with me, and I'd be like, yeah, I don't want to take up smoking. I think that's a good idea. Whether that's actually, because I think she also did it with my two sisters, and they both smoke. So I don't know if it necessarily always works, but and what are the actual bad sides of giving a 6-year-old a cigarette? Are they outweighed by them possibly never taking up smoking? I would say yeah, probably does. Is it something I would try and get Logan to do? I doubt it. I think we're far more persuaded by our peer group, which is not our parents, it's usually our friends, than he is from any single actions that a parent would make early on in their life. Additionally, with my mum making me or try to smoke a cigarette, that one action possibly was counteracted by the next 15 years of me being in the house with her smoking regularly every day, multiple cigarettes. So it's like, well, you did a good job putting me off, but you haven't really demonstrated to me in any way going off. But if ever there was an advert to not take up smoking or maybe quit smoking, it has to be listening to my mother breathe. And I was just thinking, is she not hearing what I'm hearing? It's like, oh wow, this is like really bad breathing she's got going on here. It sounds like, you know, it's like if you've just had an asthma attack, or if you've run up a hill in freezing cold weather and your throat's closing in on you and you're really struggling for breath. That's what she's like, just normal breathing. That's a good way to put people off ever wanting to take up smoking and get addicted to that. So yeah, just wondering your advice on. I think Logan will not smoke. He's certainly growing up in a country and in a time when smoking is fairly looked down upon, frowned upon, especially in this health conscious world, especially considering both me and Kim are fairly health conscious. I think it'd be very unlikely for Logan to kind of go, I'm going to dig up smoking, unless it's that kind of renegade action, or, you know, rejecting your parents' advice that then he'll take up smoking. But I think he's going to be a smart kid, and he's not going to be like falling into the trap of getting addicted to smoking. But is there any advice that you would say that you think is a good way to deter someone from smoking, apart from giving them no money and no access and no demonstration of smoking behaviour in his life. Is there anything you think is a good thing to do? Is what my mum did a good thing, or is it better just get Logan to hang around my mum now? Get Logan to hang around his grandmother and listen to her breathe. I think that's going to be the best deterrent for smoking that there possibly could be. But yeah, be interested to hear if you've had any similar experiences, or if you've got any advice on what you think is a good way to promote a non-smoking development of a kid that's going to be a teenager at some point now with his peers. Let me know what you think, or what you've done, or what you're going to do. Cheers, bye bye.